Hi guys and girls, and welcome to my draft analysis for the UDL, the Ubers Draft League Season 2. Yes, the UDL is back. You might have seen some uploads of that regarding, from some coaches already. This is not an upload required league, first of all. It's going to be on Showdown. So everyone is free to upload or not. There's no schedule or something like that. So that's why you might have seen already battles. You might have seen already draft analysis. I'm starting now. This is my draft analysis. The battles will going up this week, next week, and so on. I already had some of them. But yeah, for all of you which have no idea what the UDL is, it's an Ubers draft league. So it's a draft league where most of the Ubers are allowed as well. So we can see some legendaries. We can see like the Zekroms and the Kyogre Whites and the Oxes and Shaman Sky. All these mons are in this league as well. And one big difference we have from being Season 2 now, from Season 1 before, is that this time we tried, or I tried mainly, to put these mons into tiers. Last time we had a free draft, so you could just pick whatever. You could pick it. There are no points, no tier system. You just pick whatever you feel like at the moment. There's no restrictions, barring some bans, of course. This time we decided to, or I decided to try the tiering system. For that, I just took the Ubers viability ranks of Smogon, looked over them, changed some stuff. Then I had Joey, aka Pokémon, look over them because he's well more versed in Ubers than I am. And then I let all the other coaches look over it, see if they want to make some changes, and yeah, then we had our tiering system at the end. We had a total, let me look that up, how many tiers we had in total. We had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiers. First tier, the first 4 tiers are basically the actual Ubers mons, and the next 3 are all the other mons. We had 1,000 points in total, like you can see already on screen. The top tier 1 mons cost 180, then 150, 120, 100. Then we go to the basically OU tier 1 mons, which is 80, then tier 2 is 50, and then all the other mons, like tier 3 and below, we took for those which are not Uber, the GBA tiers by the way, barring some changes. All the others, like tier 3 below, only cost 20, because I don't want to make it too insane with points and too many tiers. Like, who's gonna draft a tier 5 mon when you have so many mons available and Ubers as well, and you have so many points? So yeah, no need to like distribute them further down the line. Then regarding Z moves, you have 200 Z points and you can choose them among your mons. The mons have the same budget for making a Z captain. So like if you draft a mon in tier 1 which costs 180 points to draft, it will cost 180 points as well to make a Z captain. So that's how it's going to work. So you kind of have some options to choose what your Z move is going to be. You draft a total of 10 mons. And yeah, you don't have to draft a Mega. That's like all the rules. In the overall draft scenario, we are 8 coaches total. All the links will of course be in the description. Even though they don't all upload, they're all great people, so the link's going to be there. And yeah, I was 5th overall. So it was kind of a weird spot right in the middle, a little bit at the back. So I didn't really have a wheel, even though behind me are only 2 people. So I guess that kind of weird. But either way, going into this draft, we had the same rule by the way as last time. Bans, you know, let's talk about bans first. Banned are Ultra Necrozma, they both primal forms, Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon. And I think these are the only mon bans. And then we have like the standard clauses and things, you know, from GBA as well, like with Tom Pass, not with speed, all this good stuff. But yeah, and the rule is that there can only be 3 Arceus types in the whole draft. So once the 3rd Arceus type is drafted, no Arceus type can be drafted anymore. Otherwise everyone would have an Arceus and that would be lame. And yeah, the first thing I wanted going into this draft was I want the Arceus form. Preferred Arceus normal, I had the last one as well. That's the one which can actually carry items. The rest is forced to have the blade, or if you run a Z crystal on it, if you make it one of the Z mons, you can run the corresponding Z crystal as well. So we have Arceus Water, it can either have the Water Plate or the Splash Plate, I think the name is, and the Waterium Z. That's the only 2 items we can have. So that's why Arceus Normal is usually better than these, because they run leftovers, Chocolate Berry, all these shenanigans. But I want an Arceus form. If I don't get Arceus Normal, like I was pretty far in the back, so I didn't expect to get Arceus Normal. And indeed, I didn't got it. It did go pretty early, but I managed to get an Arceus form, and the one I decided to get was Arceus-Ground. Arceus-Ground is my first pick, and I think it's I don't know if it's really the best Arceus. You can get Arceus Fairy, is definitely top contender as well, but Arceus-Ground, I like it a lot since it's one of the Arceus forms which you can run both ways. Like Arceus Fairy, for example, Arceus doesn't get play rough, so if you run Arceus Fairy, it's always going to be special. Arceus-Ground, on the other hand, you can still have Judgment for special Arceus, or you can run Earthquake for physical Latios. So that Arceus, not Latios. That's why I liked it a lot. It was 180, it's one of the best It's one of the highest tiers, and of course multi-type 120 stats overall, and it can still be nice. It's a very nice electric immunity, since with these stats, even like hidden power ices are not hurting this thing too much. Sadly, Grassland is going to be pretty high power since Arceus is very heavy, but other than that, this thing can be great defensive as well, be it split F, be it physical defensive. And of course, offensively can be physical or special. That's fine. More looking out for Arceus. Other than that, Arceus can do. It's similar to Mew that can do a lot. Gets default, gets rocks, gets Will-O-Wisp, gets all kinds of coverage moves, gets Calm Mind, Sword Stance. So Arceus can do a lot. That's why I wanted them from the start. And after Arceus Normal was gone, Arceus-Ground was definitely one the Arceus form I was going for. I was for sure wanted to Arceus form which can go both ways. So mons like Arceus Fairy were already out, since, like I mentioned, if Arceus would get player of Arceus Fairy is without a doubt the second best Arceus form in my opinion, but without that I decided to get rid of Arceus-Ground, and yeah, let's hope we can do some work with that. Second one I wanted to get was, because I thought it's a pretty budget pick for this, and it's probably the best bulky water you can have in this, which is Kyogre. Kyogre was only 120 points, and that's why I got it very early in round 2 already. Kyogre is a great bulky water. If you look at the stats, it's definitely insane. Physical defense is kind of lacking, but you can invest in that. And just having Drizzle and such a high special attack set, your attacks are already choice specs. Put a choice specs on that and nothing switching anymore. Put a choice cover on that, put Water Spout as a very high move, base power move on that, and it's going to be awesome as well. I like Kyogre as well, since once again can defensive or offensive. It has some mixed capabilities, because just through Drizzle, like having this water moves boost by 1.5, even Liquidation is doing a lot from this thing. But, and of course it has the Thunder as coverage move, can't miss in the rain, so other bulky water types are not to check to this. The best way to check this is basically with a Dragon or a Grass type, for which you get Ice Beam, so it has to be a very split F-Red Dragon or Grass type, but other bulky waters are not checking Kyogre because it's set up fodder, and then I Thunder them, so there we go. So yeah, that's Kyogre for you. I can't go too much in detail about all these mons since it's Ubers, and I, of course, barring the UDL Season 1, my experience in Ubers is pretty limited, so I can't really tell you what they can or cannot do, since I don't have the most experience with them, but I can tell you what I plan to do with them, which I basically do with Kyogre. It's a bulky water, can go offensive, can be defensive. Bulky waters are great. Sadly, it's missing reliable recovery, only has to rely on rest. But with Drizzle as well, the option is I can draft some mons which would do better in rain, or can benefit from the rain. Of course, Arceus-Ground sadly is one of the mons which is not benefited by the rain. The super effective water moves versus that are boosted, so I have to look out for that. But yeah, we'll see in the draft. I draft some mons which can benefit from having the rain up. But I don't like drafting full Vital Team, so you don't have to expect like I draft like Mega Swampert, Ludicolo, all these mons. But yeah, next up, I want the mon which was a budget pick in my opinion as well, since it's great. It's a Steel, it's a Fairy, it's Magearna. You already know Magearna. It's banned in most of the leagues. Sometimes it's allowed. In this league, we decided to put it in the lowest Uber tier. Like, it's not tier 1, it's like the tier 0. Or I don't know how you want to call it. Like tier 1, I always mean GBA tier 1, which is like the standard OU ones. But this is, with 100 points, I thought this is a great budget pick. Yeah, great defensive, great offensive stat. It has nice viability in Ubers already, just by being Magearna, and yeah, its benefits from the rain as well. Super effective fire attacks are not super effective anymore, so the only way to hit it really are ground moves super effectively if the rain is up, and with this offensive it takes basically every hit. Steel types are mainly important for like Xerneas, which in this case only one guy has, but with Magearna I have a great check to that, and yeah, Trick Room option, Shift Gear option can go both ways. Nice coverage moves as well. Soul Heart, of course, once this guy or this gal starts sweeping, it's only getting stronger, and the sweeping capabilities rise with that. Sadly, it's a Steel type without rocks. Usually, you don't need to worry about getting a good amount of rockers, since you get a Steel type, you get a Ground type, and they usually always have rocks. But sadly, Magearna is not one of them. It's missing reliable recovery. Reliable recovery would be insane, but it gets Heal Bell as a buff. It gets Pain Split and gets Hard Swap as well. So like opposing setup, I can just Hard Swap it up, or what's standard or what's rather known in Ubers, like you go for Flare Cannon, then you Hard Swap the special attack drop to your opponent, and you go for another strong Fall Cannon and stuff like that. But yeah, that's Magearna for you. Pretty straightforward, bulky, Steel and Fairy type. That's what you want your Steel and Fairy types to be, and very strong as well. It is rather slow, but with Trick Room we can capitalize on that, or we can just go Shift Gear and be fast again. So yeah, that's Magearna for you. Next up, like now, I already, like, if you look at my budget, I'm at 600 points now, so I already did like around half my points are already gone. So my next few picks are gonna be pretty low tier. So right now I was like looking at the more low tier mons, which can be good in Ubers and can be good for my team. So I can then later in the rounds draft some potentially other high point mons, because I don't want to be. I usually do that often. Like in my first few rounds, I put like a lot of points out. Then mid draft, I get all the low tier stuff, and then the end of the draft, I get some big mons again. That's like, you can usually see that pattern in my draft. So I always like having a lot more points in the end, just to have still a lot of options in the end. I don't like having like for example, you only have a low amount of points and you are forced that your last 3 picks are tier 4 or 3 or 5, something like that. If you have still the option to get a tier 1 at like the last 2 rounds, then you're drafting correctly in my opinion. But yeah, that's why you get a lot of lower point mons right here. And next up I decided to get Tornadus. Tornadus Theory, of course, great in rain as well with the Hurricane, and yeah, very speedy mon. It's actually faster than Arceus. And that's basically the main reason I got it. It's speed, and Hurricane and Rain sounded well. Tornadus Theory in general is a great mon in standard draft. I don't know, like in Ubers it's not really used. I don't know how it compares to all the Uber mons, but I'm having my hopes are high for this mon, just being speedy, having Tornadus being bulky through that, and only costing 80 points, so that's a plus as well. And yeah, that's Tornadus for you. Great coverage, gets Torn, gets Defog. I only defogger so far was Arceus, so getting another Defogger and Tornadus was great as well. But yeah, that's Tornadus for you. Pretty straightforward, can run mixed, knock off, U-turn, superpower, heat wave, hurricane. You know what Tornadus does. Don't need to talk too much about that. Like I said, I'm a bit worried how much it like 110, 100 attack stats. And if you compare to like Arceus, 120 bulk, Kyogre, 100 HP, 150 special attack. Hurricanes are not doing anything, even with 110 special attack. So I'm a bit worried about that. But other than that, it's a budget pick. It's speedy, utility, and potentially be strong as well with life up or something like that. I don't know. But not all the mons, the other drafts are Ubers, so potentially can do some stuff. But now, going on to the next mon, we got another rocker, because I don't want Arceus to always be forced to my rocker, and it's a nice mon. It's Nihilego, which is only 50 points since it's only in tier 2. Gives me a poison type, gives me speed tier I actually didn't have yet. I had like 120s covered, I had like the 90s covered Kyogre, now I have a 100 mon covered as well. And this is mainly probably going to be a Suicide Leaf, like Rocks and Toxic Spikes, and that gives me Toxic Spikes, which is nice. It is nice switch into Fairy types as well. It's rather strong and bulky on the special side, but because on the physical side it doesn't do a lot. You already know from my time in the GBA that Nihilego was one of my favorite beast boosting, what's I call it again? Ultra Beast to use. So yeah, very happy to get that. It's not going to be the main threat of this team. It's of course still a threat, but it's not going to be main threat in the Uber's draft. Like I said, most likely going to be Suicide Lead, then get a Rock's Toxic Spike, get some damage up. It might be Scarf at some point or something like that, or if opponent is really weak to Rock Poison coverage, then boom, we should try Scarf, try Specs. But yeah, that's going to be an Nihilego for you. Next up, like I'm just breezing through these. This is not a very detailed draft analysis. I'm sorry for that, but yeah, that's what you get with a draft analysis like that. Now, next up, we got actually my cheapest one I'm actually drafting, which is none other than Shaman. I wanted to have a ground resist. Of course, I already drafted Magearna and Nihilego as my ground weaknesses. I only had immunity and Tornadus yet, and I want to get ground resist. And Shaman was just such a 20 points for this. Like, look at 20 points. That's nothing for Shaman. Shaman, 20 points. Just think about that. 100 stats overall. It's not going to be offensive in most of the scenarios, because like the only really time you need the offensive Shaman is your opponent has a very annoying water type. But I have already the most annoying water type in Kyogre, so I'm fine with that. But defensive-wise, I think it can still pull its weight versus some of the Uber's ones. And yeah, that's basically all what Shaman is about. Ground immunity, has around therapy, and then potentially spam Seed Flare. And 20 points is just like 20 points is nothing. It's basically I just got a month for free basically, because 20 points is nothing. If you look at that now, I'm over halfway through my draft, but I still have around half my points. That's what I meant with going through the more cheaper ones now. And yeah, next up I actually had the plan to get regular Deoxys, because I already knew what my Z-Mon's gonna be, and regular Deoxys was in, I think, the 120 tier, and that means I can get one of my 80 Mons Z-moves. So for example, I could have gotten Deoxys and Tornadus as my Z-Mons. But sadly, Deoxys got sniped from me just before I got. Like, Gareth is the one who picked before me. He sniped it actually from me. So I had to get something else. And I was looking at all the mons which are still there. I had to go for another Psychic. Deoxys would have been great because it gives me all the hazards I need. Rock Spikes, then actually have all the hazards barring Sticky Web. But yeah, I had to change for something else. And I actually got a mon I had on my list to get, because it's a low tier mon which has viability in Ubers. And I actually want to get that later, but now that my main pick was gone and I had to rethink, and my replacement picks weren't as likely to get sniped as Deoxys, I actually decided to get it now, which is Dugtrio. Only 50 points, it isn't tier 2, it is allowed to run Arena Trap, and yeah, it has some viability in Ubers, can trap still some mons, and that's basically all Dugtrio is going to do. If my opponent has a mon which is weak to ground, which I can trap, which is slower than Dactrio. Dactrio is gonna come. If not, it's not gonna come. It's just gonna be that strat mons which are weak to ground. Like it's not like Dactrio has viability for anything else in Ubers. It's just too weak and just not bulky enough with base 100 attack and these pitiful defensive stats. Dactrio is gonna be there. It's gonna trap something, maybe Memento, maybe get up rocks, and then the rest of the team can do some stuff. But yeah, that's all Dactrio. I just thought that's a nice mon, which gives me a nice trapper for mons which are weak to ground. And it's only 50 points, so I thought, why not? Like 50 points again for a mon, which gives me something like that. Like, it's difficult in the lower tiers, like in the 50 and 20 point range, to find mons there which has some kind of viability in Ubers, like which can do something in Ubers which like they aren't outclassed by or something. So that's why I decided to get Dactrio, because it has like the job of trapping, which actually nothing else in Ubers can do, barring Magearna. And Magearna is a lot more expensive. It actually got drafted round 1, so that was off the table as very soon. So that's why I thought Dactrio can shine in that if it has like a niche. If you get drafted low tier mon with like a special niche which the Ubers mons can fill, then you're drafting a good low tier mon in this draft like that. So that's why I got Dactrio. Then next up, I actually got my Psychic right here, and since Deoxys standard was gone, I decided to go for Deoxys Defense. This gives me a lot of bulk, still gives me the hazards, and yeah, it's a bit cheap as well with base 100, so I have a lot more points going forward. I still have 300 points for my last 2 picks, and yeah, I got Deoxys Defense. It's very bulky, gets hazards, it's rather speedy even for like seeing how bulky it is. Base 90 speed is nothing to scoff at, and yeah, it's just gonna be there being bulky, set up hazards, and wall a mon, potentially, hoping he doesn't have taunt. That's gonna be Deoxys Defense jobs, get up hazards, wall some mons, and yeah, having the bulk like that is very important in a draft league where your opponent has some mons which are just so strong. You don't have switch into that. With Deoxys Defense, you actually have a switch into that, so that's why I decided that's a great mon as well. It makes my team more defensive as I wanted. Like, I would have preferred having a very offensive team with like Deoxys attack, but since that got sniped and I still need a psychic type, I still needed spikes, I still need another rocker. Since, I mean, I have enough rocker now. I have Arceus, Neolego, and Dactrio, but Neolego and Dactrio are mainly like suicide rockers, so like they rock and then die. Deoxys can set up rocks and then still do stuff since it lives the hits. So yeah, that's Deoxys for you. Next up, I wanted to get my dragon, because if you look at my draft, I actually don't have a dragon yet. I have a favorite Steel Magearna, but I don't have my dragon yet. I waited for my dragon a long time, since there's just so many dragons around, including all the uber like cover dragons and stuff like that. And the dragon I wanted to get was Reshiram, because what Reshiram gives me as well is a fire type, which I don't have yet. But guess what? Gareth once again snipes me one turn before. I always try in drafts to call what the opponents, what the other people want to draft, looking at the team, what they're missing, like, oh, they're missing that typing, so they're probably getting that and stuff like that. Look at Gareth, he already had a psychic type, he got Deoxys still, like he had, I think, Necrozma does main. Then I thought, okay, he has a fire, I think he had a fire type already. No, he had a dragon type already, yeah, he had is he the one with Mega Salamence? I think he had Mega Salamence, and then I thought, okay, there's no way he's getting a second dragon type, but nope, he's getting Reshiram, so he's just sniping me for a spite of it. That's my theory. He's just sniping me to hurt me, not to make his team actually better, but Reshiram was still a good pick, like he justified it, like he needed Deoxys speed, he needed for speed, Deoxys regular, he needed for speed, and Reshiram is he needed for as fire typing. I still don't agree with that. I would have gotten something else, and of course I'm definitely not biased at all since I won these months, so you can take my opinion as unbiased as possible, but yeah, I got sniped sadly, so that means I had to get another dragon, and looking at all the dragons available, and I still want the tier 1 mon, there's only one dragon still available, which doesn't double down on typings on my side. I could have gotten Palkia at this point, but I didn't want to get a secondary water type with Kyogre, so I decided to go with a lower tier dragon type, which is Kyogre Black. We got Kyogre Black, 80 points. We actually got Magearna and Kyogre Black together, which is great. And yeah, it's actually one of the lower, like not Ubers mons, which actually has stats from Ubers. But of course, the one downside is that its main stab in Ice Beam is special, where its main attack lies in its physical attack with 170. It can't really use the ice moves it has, barring you give it like Z free shock or something like that. But it still gets Ice Electric Couch, which is very great. And you know what Kyurem does. I already talked about that in my last GBA draft. Kyurem is a great bulky dragon potentially as well. In this draft, not as usable as a bulky dragon, since like some mons are just way too strong. They still break through Kyurem. But it can still be very strong. 170 is still insanely high attack stat, and the coverage it gets is still very nice. Gets Roost. Sadly, it doesn't get Defog, since what Reshiram would have gotten. So far my only defoggers are Tornadus and Arceus, so sadly I have to rely on that a little bit. But yeah, now going on to my next mon, I still don't have a Mega. And I still don't have a Mega, basically, that's it. And I want more priority, because the only priority I had so far was extreme speed on the Arceus-Ground, which is real priority if you are on physical, or extreme speed on Deoxys, which is not real priority because Deoxys has a pitiful 75 attack stat, and then Sucker Punch on the what you call it, Ductrio. So I wanted a hard-hitting mon. I wanted to have a good setup mon. The few setup sleepers I had so far, Kyogre with Calm Mind and like Arceus, but I want to have another big threat. And looking at all the tier 1s mons left, I had eye on that for a long time, but since I already knew that like other people drafted already Megas, you are allowed to draft multiple Megas in this league, but who's actually gonna do that? Very few people, and others didn't have the points for that, so I did wait till the last turn to get this one, and I got Mega Lucario, the always win con. That's a nice name. I think Jasmine gave her Lucario. It's always a win con. You can you can always build Lucario in a way that's your win con, be it physical, be it special. Doesn't matter the team. You can always build a Lucario set which beats your opponent's team, since it's just way too good coverage, nice setup on both sides, priority on both sides, and Mega Lucario is just the exact same thing, just even better. With the speed, I don't even have to rely on the priority of this thing. I can just go for close combats or flash cannons and all this good stuff versus this thing. Still gets the same coverage. It actually got Meteor Mash in this gen as well, so that's a great as well. And yeah, that's Mega Lucario, the quote-unquote always win con, and that concludes my team, barring of course Z-Mons. Now, I had to think about Z-Mons, and I don't want to give it a whole, like, I could have gone for Kyogre Tornadus, which I was thinking about, but Z-Tornadus doesn't look too good in this, because Tornadus is just not strong enough. I could have gone for Magearna Deoxys Defense, but Deoxys Defense is not a good Z-move user. I could have gone for Shaman and Arceus, but Shaman is not a great Z-move user in this as well. So I decided in the end to go for these two, for Magearna and Kyogre. Kyogre, of course, being a great Z-move user. I kind of regretted not having him as my Z-move user last season in GBA. Now I have it, and I again have Z Magearna, which is of course a huge threat. I had that in the GBA season before that. So yeah, both round 1 picks of my past GBA seasons making a return, both being Z captains of the team. So yeah, that's my full team. Let me know in the comments what you think about the team. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? Who's gonna be the MVP? And yeah, we will start very soon with the game uploads. Like I already mentioned, I played already a few games, so yeah, you can be excited for that. They're of course going to be live, since it is on Showdown. I'm going to go back to doing live recordings of my matches, since now I can live record them, since I don't need a capture card. But yeah, leave a like if you're excited for the UDL, leave a like if you like this draft, leave a like if you like, I don't know, you like me, leave a like. That's just everything I ask for. God damn it, smash that like button. I think that's the most I beg for, like, in any of my uploads. But either way, that's all from me. Hit me on Twitter, Facebook, all links in the description. I will see you another time. Ciao.